I'm Mike Messier, and welcome to episode 26 of Short Film Showcase. On this episode, we have two great in-studio guests. At this time, we want to introduce a nice introduction video of our first guest. It's a video of Sonya Joyner. Let's check it out right here on the Short Film Showcase.
Hi, my name is Sonya Joyner. I'm a non-union actor from Massachusetts. I love roller coasters, and I'm going skydiving next month. This actually might be the last videotape or anything of me in existence. I probably would like to do something really outrageously silly, but I'm pretty controlled. Love cats. I would love to own a white tiger. I would love to swim with dolphins, and I would like to swim with a killer whale. I'm a very fast driver. My biggest fear is that I won't get to do all the things that I haven't done yet and all the things that I don't even know that I want to do. Oh, I love to cook. My favorite food is almost anything. I love to cook Italian food. Pizza is really high on the list. Lasagna. I want to go to Tahiti really, really badly, and Hawaii, and Alaska. Down south, we used to go down south to visit my grandparents and my cousins every summer. That being in Alabama is a really good thing, because both my family's from, well, my mom's from Montgomery and my dad is from Birmingham. For feeling so lonely. I could have any superpower, I would definitely be able to move in time. I would be Genie blinking everywhere. Now I'm really into killing people, so I'd like to be a serial killer. I think that would be a lot of fun. Opportunity only comes once in a lifetime.
Welcome back to Short Film Showcase. That was an introduction video of our first guest, Sonya Joyner. So joining us in the studio right now is Sonya Joyner.
Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And Sonya, it's very great to have you on as a guest. Just as an aside, you auditioned for a project that I'm working on, and you got a role with us. So,
yes, I am.
as the stepmom.
Yes.
Rochelle. So
very excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great when that comes together. Chris and the Coffee Girl, we're so happy to have you a part of it. And you have done, looking at your resume from IMDb, you have done so many projects in the last several years. Let's talk about some of them. Let's start with something by Roberta Davenport, got into Boston International Film Festival.
Yes, a film called Standing Up. I played Roberta Davenport. Interestingly enough, I am a boss in a company, and it's actually revolves around a gentleman who would like to be a stand-up comic, but he has massive fear about being in front of people.
Yeah.
And in the office, I play the killjoy. Everybody's laughing, having a good time, and I walk in and end that. Very stern.
Hardball.
Yeah, scared myself when I saw the film.
Nice, nice. That's great. And Boston International Film Festival, is that coming up, or is that already passed?
That just passed. Actually, it was supposed to screen on the day of the bombing at the Boston Marathon.
Wow.
Which was, you know, a huge tragedy that we're still dealing with here.
Yeah.
And that was the night we were actually supposed to screen.
Oh, boy.
But we screened a week later. It was fine.
What was were you able to go to the screening, Sonya?
I did get to go to the screening.
Yeah.
The following week.
How was the reception from the audience?
Everybody enjoyed it. It was actually funny. I hadn't seen it in a while because it had been made several years earlier.
Right.
It just hadn't been completed.
Yeah.
So it was very nice to kind of see myself back, what, 7 years ago?
Right.
To see what I was like back then.
Sometimes these projects, no matter how much the budget is or anything, they take a while to get finished. And it's positive energy there that Standing Up, when it was finished, was able to get a nice screening at this film festival.
Yeah, I was very happy that they, you know, took the time and stayed committed to the project to be able to complete it.
Yes. Persistence is key in this business sometimes.
Yes.
So we have Frankenstein in a women's prison, and I saw some of that. That was just funny. Tell us about that one.
It was a lot of fun. It was one of the 48-hour film projects.
Mm-hmm.
I did it with Richard Griffin,
mm-hmm.
who a lot of people in Providence in Rhode Island know.
Sure.
And we just had a crazy, crazy day.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I got cast and asked if it was possible for me to shoot somebody, and Richard accommodated me and let me blow out one of the guards' brains at the end of the film.
Nice. This is strictly in film, strictly fiction.
Strictly film. I also got to play harmonica
Nice.
in the film,
Nice.
which I had never done.
And you did some, was Sarah Nicklin in that piece? Sarah Nicklin?
No, she wasn't. I believe, let's see, had she moved yet? She might have already moved out to L.A.
Okay, I thought I saw
In the
her
last
and
film.
you worked on something together.
We worked on none of that,
None of that, okay.
which
I
was
saw those.
another Richard Griffin film.
Right, I saw some clips of you guys in there.
Yeah, we killed somebody then, too.
Wow.
I guess it's kind of a theme with
I
me.
want to hide.
I've also killed my daughter
Yep.
before. I choked her to death.
Wow. What
So,
piece was that?
That was in a film I did when I very first started acting.
Yeah.
Back in Massachusetts. Wow, that was so long ago.
Yeah. These projects, they add up, and sometimes like, oh yeah, I worked with that person, and when was that? And, you know, it's just, the projects add up, and sometimes they become a little bit of a blur, huh?
Yeah, if you do, I've been doing a lot of film, you know, small parts in quite a few, and then you just kind of lose track. I've done quite a few 48 hours
Yep.
in Boston and in Providence, so.
And you've done a lot of theater, too. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I love theater, actually. For the first 6-7 years, I did not enjoy it. It was a means to film.
Right.
I was always taught that in order to do television and film, your best bet is to start off with theater.
Right.
It was a very strong foundation. So I started it, had a lot of issues with nerves, very concerned about my fellow actors on stage and not wanting to drop lines and you know,
Right.
get them messed up.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden there was this strange turning point, and I love it.
Nice.
And now I'm getting into musical theater, which is so much fun.
Tell us about that. Where are you doing some musical theater?
Recently I got to play Gary Coleman in Avenue Q,
Yep.
and I got to do it twice.
What you talking about, Sonya? Yeah, thought I'd throw that in there.
Well, that's actually one of the lines I still get to say. What you talking about, Willis? And I got to do that in Cohasset, Massachusetts,
Yep.
and in Randolph, Massachusetts.
Nice.
So
Tell us about embodying the character. Gary Coleman, for those who are, who's Gary Coleman? He was on Different Strokes, and
Yes.
he did a lot of movies.
he did Different Strokes for years. He kind of got pigeonholed into that
Right,
role,
right.
so he never really got very far afterwards.
Yep.
But it was a lot of fun. In Avenue Q, he is actually the superintendent
Okay.
in the building that all the characters live in.
Nice.
Avenue Q is kind of thought of as an adult puppet show,
Sure.
so it's definitely not a child-friendly thing.
Right.
It's kind of like Sesame Street, with lots of sex and porn and
Wow.
stuff involved.
Sounds like my personal life, but we'll stay away from that, Sonya.
Well, the internet is for porn. Ask Trekkie Monster, he'll tell you.
Nice, nice. So theater, musical theater, film, it's great. And what inspired you to get into acting in the first place, Sonya?
A commercial on the radio.
Okay.
I heard a commercial for New Stars. You know, one of those, have you always wanted to be in commercials and television? Do you want to be on TV shows like Boston Public?
Right.
And I heard it, and I was studying Wicca at the time.
Okay.
And, you know, the basis for that is trusting your gut and
Yes.
learning how to trust yourself. And the commercial came on, I got this very strong feeling in my stomach. And I really paid attention to the commercial, and I kind of thought about it. And then all of a sudden, Lose Yourself by Eminem came on.
Oh, yeah.
And it all kind of tied together, you know. Opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Went home, made the phone call to see if I could get in, got an audition for the next day, got in an 8-week seminar,
Wow.
which, you know, I thought about, is this a scam? Is this
Right.
one of those things, you know, just trying to take your money? They were very accommodating, of course, with a payment plan, and it just felt right.
Nice.
So I went with it, came out with a headshot, resume, and training,
Nice.
and I haven't stopped since.
That's great.
That was back in 2003.
Some of these training programs, like you said, they do, you know, but this one sounds real legitimate because it got to you in the mix and got you going, so that's great.
Yeah, and a lot of things that I learned there, you know, a lot of people didn't seem to know
Yeah.
once I got into acting.
Right.
And everybody's like, well, how do you know to send out postcards? How did you know to contact these people? How did you know to send your headshot there? New Stars covered everything.
Yeah, even the formatting of a headshot resume, sometimes you get these headshot resumes and just, whoa, that's not, you know what I mean?
I'm still using the same resume format that I was using then.
That's good.
And, you know, of course my headshots changed, but
Yeah,
other than that, you know, it was a great stepping stone.
nice. And tell us about, you mentioned a certain acting coach or acting teacher that you really respect, that you've worked with. Josh?
Josh Chenard. He has taught classes through CP Casting in Boston.
Yep.
And, you know, I took his 6-week course, and I've also taken short weekend workshops, and found that after I took his courses, I was getting cast in an awful lot of things, you know, my theater, even corporate videos.
Yeah.
All that stuff kind of got more and more films. You know, I was getting film work, starting to get paid work.
Right.
So Josh did a lot for me. He got me to relax and kind of let go, and taught me how to get more into characters.
Nice, nice. What, we talked a little bit before we shot, and what are some of your favorite characters that you have played or that you'd like to play in movies or theater?
Right now, I really enjoyed playing Mama V.
Okay.
It was a student film at the Mass College of Art,
Yep.
and I got to play a madam who had just been released from prison.
Sure.
And before going into prison, I saved my money. I was planning on opening my own beauty salon.
Yep.
I get out of prison and my money's gone. So I'm looking for my hose to find out who actually stole my money.
Right.
Great film. Like, it was so much fun to shoot.
Yeah.
We're in Roxbury
Yeah.
at a bus stop shooting a scene, and I look over and I see one of my hoes, and I go racing across the street in like these 4-inch heel boots.
Yeah.
And I'm running, and I'm carrying a hairdryer with me.
Yep.
And I'm screaming, I'm waving the hairdryer around. People are looking like it's a, because they don't know there's a
Right,
film
they don't
going
know
on.
it's a film.
They look, they see this wild, crazy person running down the street chasing a woman. I knock her down, I hit her in the head with the hairdryer. People
Wow.
are staring, but it was so much fun.
That sounds great. Mama V. How would someone who's interested in your work get in contact with you if they wanted you for a project, or if they want to see some of your stuff? Is anything on YouTube, or you have a...
I have my own YouTube channel.
Okay.
You can put in Sonya Joyner. It will come up. My YouTube channel is called Amethyst Star.
Yep.
And you'll see many clips of film, theater. I think there's even one of me on there. There's a clip of me in there singing somewhere. There's some TV commercials.
Yep.
Pretty much a little taste of everything.
Nice.
Some web stuff, because I've done a couple of web series.
And what part of Massachusetts are you coming from?
I'm from Mattapan, which
Okay.
is part of Boston.
Okay, great, great. Let's talk about, sometimes we ask these type of questions for fun. If you could work with any director, either regionally or internationally, what director would you think you'd like to work with?
Tyler Perry.
Okay, great. He's very accomplished.
Yeah, I'd love to work with him.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite films by him?
Any Medea film.
Okay.
All the Medea films, even the plays, you know, Meet the Browns. He's got so much work out there.
The Goes to Jail one was a lot of fun. I saw that
That
one.
was hilarious.
He had Rudy playing a prostitute.
I know, but it was great. You know, you got to get out of those little comfort zone parts sometimes.
That's true. That's true. As an actress and as an actor, we know that the comfort zone can be the dead space. You know, you have to challenge yourself and get provocative and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I like to kill people. It's a little different from what I normally do.
Off camera, you tell me that you are a thrill seeker. You like to do in your personal life. Tell us about it. I don't even know how to explain it.
I am always in pursuit of the fastest and highest roller coaster.
Okay.
I do skydiving, tandem skydiving.
Nice.
I've gone 3 times. I'll be going again in September.
Yep.
I've gotten into shooting.
Nice.
Guns.
Yeah.
Bow and arrow. That's been a lot of fun too.
Wow.
And And I'm just kind of looking for whatever is out there. I've swum with stingrays. I'd love to do dolphins and killer whales.
Was there something in your childhood or teen years that kind of spurred on this intriguing personality to go for the gusto with physical activities?
I'm not sure. I know my mother kind of put us in stuff like, you know, dance, and she sent me skiing when I was 12, kind of sent me off on a ski trip with nobody I knew.
Right.
And they've never discouraged me from trying stuff.
Yeah.
My mother is kind of a thrill seeker in some ways, but it's kind of like go out there and try stuff and see what you like, and if you find something you really like and you're good at it, go do it.
Live life to its fullest.
Yes, never stop.
That's great. That's great. What are some adventures maybe that you haven't done that you'd like to do?
I would like to go hang gliding.
Okay.
I'd like to do a solo skydive.
Okay.
Because I've never gone by myself.
Yeah.
I want to go to Alaska and climb a glacier.
Nice.
Hang out in Denali Park with the moose.
Wow.
And I'm sure there are things I don't even know I want to do that I'd like to try.
Wow.
I'm kind of, yeah. I tried parasailing. I found it not to be that thrilling.
That's on the water with the...
You go up off the boat, parachute, and you're going through the air. It's very peaceful.
Yes.
And very still.
Interesting. But not that thrilling?
Not thrilling.
You know, as an aside, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the professional wrestler, actually injured his face doing parasailing.
How?
So he was tying up the rig, and another parasailer got pulled, and their knees buckled and him in the face.
Ouch. I did see a parasailer once floating through Cancun.
Oh, yeah?
On his way to downtown Cancun. I'm sure he was thrilled.
Yeah, right. I'm sure downtown Cancun was happy to see him. Wow. So, okay, so we asked you about the director's question, which is a lot of fun. Other actors, fellow actors in this community of actors, either, once again, locally or internationally, that you'd care to work with at some point?
Again, Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
And Oprah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to work with the two of them at the same time. That would be
a
the
blast.
best. In terms of locally, I can't say anything. I mean, I like working with everybody.
Yeah.
I've worked with different people in so many different projects, and I've always had a good time. I've always learned.
Yeah.
You know, that's the big thing for me is no matter what project I do, I want to learn something from it to take with me.
Nice.
I don't see the value in something if you haven't learned something from it. Everything has a lesson.
It makes a lot of sense. You got to cultivate these experiences and use them for the next experience. And talking about Oprah Winfrey, you kind of did a tribute or not so much a parody, but tell us about that project.
I saw a posting for an Oprah lookalike, which I don't.
Right.
And people kept saying, you should submit for this, submit. And I said, but I don't look like Oprah.
Right.
And finally I just submitted, and my submission started out with, hi, my name is Sonya Joyner, and I know I do not look like Oprah. But I'm submitting for this project anyway.
Yeah.
And I actually got picked, and it was for George Washington Toma Appliances.
Okay.
Which is on the South Shore, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And I played opera.
Nice. That's fun.
So I had my own talk show, and the owner of the appliance store was on my show, and, you know, we showed his appliances, Whirlpool, Amana.
I saw the clips, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it had the studio audience, and it was a lot of fun.
And they were all George Washington Toma employees. They were great. It was a lot of fun. I had a shoe thrown at me. George jumped on the couch like Tom Cruise on Oprah's show.
Yeah,
so we've done a lot of fun things.
When I saw you online, just as a personal thing, I thought you were great. You know, when I saw you, and we pretty much had you in mind for this character in the Chris and the Coffee Girl. I was like, Sonya's really got a great presence. We got to cast her as the stepmom. You know what I mean? And that was. And when you came in to read for us, wow, you just blew us away.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you kind of did a Tobagan accent. When you told me later, you just kind of pulled it out.
Yeah, I just pulled that one out because I don't have an island accent.
Well, Sonya, this has been a lot of fun, and I just want to wish you the best with your acting career in the Massachusetts, Rhode Island vicinity, and who knows where you're going to go. You might just parasail or high glide right into the national scene. I'm sure you're going to.
Thank you very much, Mike. It's great working with you, and I look forward to working with you and Chris on The Coffee Girl, too.
Thank you, Sonya. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was our first guest on the show, Sonya Joyner. We're very happy to have her on the show. Right now, on the short film showcase, we have 2 more installments of 13 Witches by Sabine Modestin. These are episodes 9 and 10 of our very popular series, 13 Witches. Let's check it out right here on the short film showcase.
What's wrong? What are we doing here? We're hunting for power. The more we kill, the stronger we become. Trust me, you're gonna love it.
You know what? Actually, I didn't love killing Stefan.
Yeah, well, the first time's always difficult. You'll get used to it.
Why do we have to give the souls to Nemesis anyway?
Like I said, the more we kill, the stronger we become. Nemesis becomes more powerful, but Nemesis has to take the souls to the devil. From there, he rewards us.
So the stronger we become, we can take revenge on the men who killed us?
It's already began. Nemesis and Lilith killed Daniel. Then Nemesis, Herod, Enya killed Christian, the first asshole who did this to us. And you killed Stefan.
We used to be in love.
He betrayed you. Then you killed him and he's your slave now. Let's focus. We have killings to do.
Will he ever be normal again?
Do you really want that?
Hey girls, I'm Ken, and you?
I'm Andromeda, and this is my girlfriend, Diana. You're wondering, Ken, do you have some fun?
Listen, you guys are prostitutes? I should let you know I don't have money for that.
Prostitutes? We're not prostitutes. We're girls. We're just looking for a little fun. Like a threesome. Is that possible?
Yeah, yes, we want threesome.
Okay. Yeah. Where?
Or, because you live close by.
No, I live with my parents. But car's fine. I'm just parked over there.
Okay, perfect. Well, Ken, let's go to your car. It's right now. Yeah, right now.
Oh, sorry.
You know what? I have a better idea. I'm just gonna go back here.
Well, we could all go into the back. That'd be fun, no?
Oh, no. You stay here.
Yes, mistresses.
Do I have to slap you to get you to work faster?
No, mistress. I'm almost done.
How many times do I have to tell you to call me Goddess Hera?
Yes. Let us go.
Hey, Hera, it's been such a long time. I was surprised to hear from you.
Well,
You remember Charles?
of course. How could I forget? Well, I hope you've eaten already because all I have is alcohol.
Yes, we did.
Look, Hera. I know you used to work with my wife.
Yes, we did. Until I lost my job because of her.
Listen, Hera, if you invited me to make me feel guilty, we're going to leave.
No, actually, I invited you to show you that I've changed. I don't drink anymore. Given up alcohol.
I'm feeling way better now. I've been feeling guilty for a year. I didn't want to tell him you, but you were drunk all the time. We needed to do something about it.
She felt really guilty. You know, I told her that you would understand, that this was all for your own good.
I do understand. But you see, I was drinking because of my husband. But you knew that already. I needed an escape. You saw my face. You heard how he spoke to me on the phone. I needed a friend. I needed help. But instead, you decided to call head office to tell them that I'm drinking, so they would fire me, and your husband took my position. What a lovely coincidence. You have a wonderful wife. She really knows how to take care of her own.
Yeah, she is wonderful. You know what? She's trying to help you.
Shut up, Charles. We're leaving.
Why in such a hurry? I invited you to show you how I've changed. I have given up drinking. I have far more refined taste now. You see, the day that I got fired, I met someone who transformed me. I'm not a lost soul anymore.
I think we should go.
Kneel before me.
Dagger, what are you doing?
She's mine now.
The f does that mean?
How would you like your wife to die?
That's not gonna happen.
No movement shall come from this body. So, answer the question. You are lucky to get the privilege of choice. Your wife never gave me the chance to choose. I had to die to be reborn. So, what'll it be? I'm flexible. Should I cut off her head? You see, Danica, I told you I've given up drinking. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I have much better taste now. No? Don't cut off her head? Oh, of course, you're right. Maybe I should eat her heart. Oh, I have an idea. Since she exchanged my life for yours, had me fired and have you weasel your way into my job, I ask you, would you exchange your life for hers? You can talk now.
Hera, don't do this. Don't. Look.
Kneel before your goddess. I am now your mistress and queen. Ben, bring the liquid. And clean up this mess. I warned you from the slaves. They don't deserve to have me order them around. I don't want a speck of blood in my house.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Mike Messier. Welcome back to Short Film Showcase. You just saw episodes 9 and 10 of Sabine Modestin's 13 Witches. At this time, I'm very happy to introduce our next guest. It's Dave Damon.
Mike, nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. And we know each other from the acting circles, and it's so great to have you on as our guest.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mike.
Great, thank you. We were just looking at your resume and your bio, And let's start maybe from the beginning. What got you involved in theater and acting?
Well, I was born in a. How far back do you want to go?
Well,
I had always had kind of the bug in me, and I don't want to. I don't want to go into the big. I was born, but I think it started like in 4th and 5th grade.
Okay.
And I got into a couple of theater things back in 4th and 5th grade, and that got the bug in me.
Yeah.
But then it got squashed for a long time because I grew up in a jock type family.
Right.
So it really got like squashed.
Yeah.
But it was always in me, and then it wasn't until like '89, so around '89, which is a huge gap.
Okay.
But I decided to start auditioning, and I got into Play It Again, Sam.
Nice.
And from there it was theater. And I did theater for about, like your previous guest, Sonya, I did theater for about 15 years.
Yeah.
And pretty much hit every role I would wanted to play. I did To Kill a Mockingbird twice, and I did just a variety of roles. And then, again, the last couple of years, it's been, the last 7 or 8 years, it's been just basically film.
Yeah. What were some of your favorite roles when you were doing theater, Dave?
To Kill a Mockingbird was a lot of fun. I got to play the prosecuting attorney.
Nice.
Tough to play racist, obviously.
Sure.
Although I didn't really see him as a racist, I saw him doing a job.
Right.
But he comes across that way, and I played the judge on that, which was kind of fun. I did the Crucible. That was the hardest role I ever did because I played John, the lead role.
Right.
And you have to go through. You have to die every night.
Right. Right. Emotionally.
Emotionally die, and to get that role out of the system was very hard. But
Right.
that was a huge fun role. And then I did one of the other ones was a couple of Neil Simon roles.
Okay.
I played Richard Dreyfuss's Uncle Louis, and I can't think of the name of the play offhand now. But it was fun to do. It's always fun to do comedy.
Right.
Hard, but it was fun.
Now, did you work with Richard Dreyfuss in the same show?
No,
you mean in the?
No. I played his role was.
Oh, I see.
It was his role that he originated in the movie, which again obviously escapes me right now.
That's okay.
But he played the Uncle Louis in this movie, and I played him on stage.
Okay.
But yeah.
And that's one thing we talk about sometimes in my acting classes. That it's a big challenge when you've seen a movie or another production of the same piece that you're going to be in, to kind of remove yourself from that.
I try very hard not to see the other person's performance. I don't really want to. I don't want to repeat it.
Right.
I want to make it my own.
Yeah.
So I don't like to see the other person's. You're going to be compared anyway.
Right.
So you might as well not see it and take it from your perspective.
Yeah. Put your own
spin on it.
Yeah.
So I don't. Usually, once the play's over with,
right,
then I'll go take a look at what they did with it. But otherwise, I don't tend to do that.
Do your own research, do your own take.
Yeah, my own take, and get used to the rehearsal process and discovering things in the rehearsal process.
Direct from the text, not from another actor's interpretation.
Usually directly from the text, and again, the rehearsal is the time where you try as a theater person, you try things out.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get character that way.
And just going further with your theater background and your education background, segue, you've worked with some of the great acting instructors. We talked about Michael Shurtleff. He wrote a book called Audition, which I always bring up to actors. And the Chapter 12 Opposites by Michael Shurtleff in Audition book is just terrific. And you were able to work with him in an acting class?
Yeah, he came, oh boy, back in early 90s. He used to tour.
Yep.
Throughout nationally. And he'd drop by in Boston, and then he'd pick up and go to Texas. And he came to Boston in '92, I think.
Yeah.
And I went, well, Michael Shurtleff, I'm going to get into that.
Right.
And he pretty much goes through every one of his 12, I think 12 points.
Guidelines or guideposts.
Guidelines, yeah. And he directs you when he gets into. I liked his take on events.
Right.
Finding a specific event and working along that. But I've kind of moved in a different direction now, because I kind of want the text to decide where the event is, rather than me looking at the event and going, here's where the event's going to be.
Right.
I'm a little bit more finding the event in the process, rather than, here's where the event is, you know.
Yeah.
So I've moved a little bit away from it, but he was excellent, I think, as we talked earlier. He was so excellent in telling his students, if you're going for an audition, make it big.
Right.
You know, stay within your character, but make it big. And I used that when I was in a film called Life, Love, and Loss.
Well, tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, I walked into the audition,
Yep.
and I had never met the director. The director was Todd Walker, and I walked into the audition, and it had a drug scene in it where I played this rotten cop.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to pull this, pull one of the people that's in my stable of bad people aside, and tell him that he's not doing things correctly and he better get on the stick. And I turned to him and I said, look, when I say don't screw this up, although I used a different term,
Right.
when I don't say don't screw this up again, I'm going to kick you right where it hurts, right in the groin area.
Sure.
So be aware when I say that, and I need you to react to it. And he said, okay. And I said, and we went through the scene, and I said, and don't screw this up, and I did it. And then in essence, I walked away, and the director said, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I said, well, again, the funny thing is, I used it, and then the movie obviously took a long time to make.
Right.
And by the time the director had kind of moved on.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, I had heard that he had considered recasting.
Oh.
And I think I had heard that he might have been looking for other people, but he never forgot that. And he said, I just couldn't put that audition out of my head. I had to continue to use that.
Nice.
So again, I think it was Michael Shurtleff that as long as you can keep it within the context of the character, and you can make it work, that's what I've learned what they're looking for. And I've tried to use a little bit of that in all my auditions.
There's a book, a few books by a guy named Eric Morris from the West Coast who wrote books about acting, irreverent acting, and a few other titles. And Jack Nicholson does a foreword in one of the books, and they're talking about the method, Stanislavski, the method. And at the end of the introduction, Jack Nicholson says, the method is, if it works, do it. He's not using Stanislavski, but he says, if it works, do it. And the stories you're telling are just evidence of that. Whatever it takes as an actor to get to that focal point of energy and passion and big choices, that's what's going to do it for you.
And that's what again, as long as I can stay within the confines of the character and know that this is something the character would do.
Yeah. And
the big choice will work. Well, the proof is in the pudding. I got that role, and it was a great role.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Dave, real quick, I was looking at your bio and resume. What is your web page so people can go and check out Dave's?
That's in development right now.
Okay.
So I know I had one, but it's still in development.
Okay. Well, they can just Google you later on.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough. And let's talk about what we were asking our prior guests. You've got a career going, And who would you like to work with, either locally or internationally, as far as a director goes? If you had some choices here.
I think it'd be fun. So obviously, you get on when you get even in the background work, you just want to be in, just watch certain people work. Obviously, you know, Tom Hanks would be amazing. I think would be amazing to watch work.
Yeah.
Obviously Denzel Washington. Anything he does,
Yeah.
you know, is phenomenal. Directors. Scorsese is huge. Spielberg is huge, and then just because of their, you know, because of their in-depth character work that they go into.
Right.
I mean, those are the people that I admire.
Denzel Washington, you mentioned, what an inspiration he is. He's up in the Boston area filming something these days, Boston and Chelsea, and I get to do a little extra background work on that and see him in action, and what a presence. You know?
It's funny. He when you, as you know, as you get on stage or you get you get on lot.
Yeah.
And you have to learn as especially as a background to respect their space.
Right.
And I got on set and I was told, if you see Denzel, he's preparing.
Right.
So you really don't want to say anything to him. You don't want to
Yeah.
even watch making eye contact.
Right.
Because he's preparing for a scene.
Yeah.
So I always respect the actors, the main A-list actors. I don't say a word to them unless maybe we're going to canteen together
Sure.
or something.
Right.
But he came in preparation, and he was literally like as far away as I am.
Right.
So I'm going, just looking around.
Yeah.
Don't make eye contact.
Right,
You know, looking at
Right.
tying my shoe, anything, because you just
Give him his space. Give him
his space. But
Yeah.
you know, and you've got to do that. But
Yeah.
anyway.
That's great. Now I'm reading about some of your personal favorite things to do, and you play guitar. Is that right?
I do play guitar. I try to get. There's a group that gets together usually when I can on Sundays, and it's a wonderful group that gets together in Dorchester,
Yeah.
on Jamaica Plain, and it's a jam.
Nice.
And they don't, you know, anybody at any level can join in, and they basically play pretty much folk music. The good part is they pretty much have a regular list. So almost any time I jump in,
The songs.
the songs are the same,
Yeah. Nice.
pretty much. So yeah, I play guitar, and I'm a tennis player, so that's where I get my exercise as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Tennis is a great sport. I mean, it's the ultimate. And I read another acting book that said if you want to know the response, quick response in acting, watch tennis, because that back and forth, hitting the ball back and forth, trying to, you know, achieve the momentum, especially when they're just rallying, not so much when they're trying to score on each other.
There's so much that you learn that I've learned just from tennis. It's in auditioning.
Yeah.
You know, in auditioning, I go in an audition, and I walk out. Once the ball's gone by, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
You know, the same thing in an audition. You give your best you can in an audition, and you walk away. You've done it, and you can't go back.
Right.
Same with the point in tennis. You can't go back. You've
Yeah.
You've either won or lost the point.
Right.
If you've lost the point, you go for the next one.
Yeah.
Same with auditioning. You've done it. Forget about it. Move on. You'll do the best you can on the next one. And I use that in almost all my that idea in almost all my auditions and even on theater.
You can take it further and say that the first serve is your first take
Yeah.
in an audition, and then if it doesn't go over the net, maybe you get another take, another
Right,
serve.
right.
And hopefully you score on that one. And do you watch tennis too, or you mostly play?
I used to watch a lot more. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but I used to watch it in what I would consider the heyday. But everybody's era is the heyday.
Right.
But I watch with Beyond Borg coming up and Chrissy Everett and Martina and all the biggies. You know.
Yeah.
But every era's got every era's your era.
Well, I was going to say some of the acting and performance art almost by John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors.
That's true. That is performance art in itself. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are just crazy,
Yeah,
in a fun way. And it says that you really value, as many of us do, family and friends. That's very important to you. You said that here on your bio, that family and friends are priceless to you. I
have been blessed with some of the, well, obviously a great supportive family. My mother and God rest his soul, my father, supported anything I wanted to do. And the friends that I have made along the way, I don't know, obviously, I don't know what I'd do without them. You know, Bob DeCicco is a great guy, a friend of mine. But I've made, I've made some great friends, and they've stuck with me through thick and thin. So I'm I'm very blessed.
That's great, Dave. And as actors, as artists, you need that support system, because the world is just, or maybe the community of the United States, who knows, is just almost opposed to people pursuing their artistic goals. And so to have people like your friends and family kind of support you and understand, even if they don't totally understand, but give you that backing is so valuable.
Yeah, yeah, they do. But I think it's also, I believe as an actor, you have to have, you must have friends outside the business.
Right.
It's just, the business is so competitive, even among friends.
Right.
As you know, it's so competitive that you need the break to be able to go, oh, here's my other set of friends over here, and I don't have to think about acting while I'm, or the competitiveness. So. Yeah, it's very important.
We can be buddies just as long as you're not my type.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So what's next for you, Dave? I mean, what's next?
I'm auditioning. You know, this year I've gotten offers for a few roles, but had to turn them down. I'm looking into going back into theater. There's a theater group that's doing the play Doubt.
Okay.
That's an interesting play.
Yeah.
And I'm familiar with the director and the company, so I'm thinking about going back in and doing theater as well. But I'm always, like I said, I'm always going out when I can get a chance for the auditions for film.
That's great, Dave.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, it's just been remarkable having you in Talking Shop and seeing what's up with you in your career. And we look forward to having you on again, maybe in a few months.
That'd be great.
Dave Damon, thank you so much for being on the Short Film Showcase. Thank you. This has been a great episode of the Short Film Showcase, episode number 26. I'd like to thank our help here in the studio, Cody, and also our regular producer, Bryan Casey. If you'd like to have your short film featured on the Short Film Showcase, please contact Bryan Casey at bcfilms.net. That's bcfilms.net. Contact Bryan Casey to have your short film on the Short Film Showcase. I'd also like to say to any would-be or potential filmmakers out there watching our show and thinking, hey, how can I get a film made, produced, and put on the Short Film Showcase? It's very simple, folks. If you can dream it, shoot it. I'm Mike Messier for Short Film Showcase.